to deceive the eye. The boy is the son of the fortune teller. He has reached an age that brings an uncertainty as to whether this is something to be proud of, or even a detail to be divulged, but it remains true. He walks home from school towards an apartment situated above a shop strewn with crystal balls and tarot cards, incense and statues of animal-headed deities and dried sage. The scent of sage permeates everything, from his bed sheets to his shoelaces. Today, as he does every school day, the boy takes a shortcut through an alleyway that loops behind the store. A narrow passage between tall brick walls that are often covered with graffiti, and then whitewashed, and then graffitied again. Today, instead of the creatively spelled tags and bubble-lettered profanities, there is a single piece of artwork on the otherwise white bricks. It is a door. The boy stops. He adjusts his spectacles to focus his eyes better, to be certain he is seeing what his sometimes unreliable vision suggests he is seeing. The haziness around the edges sharpens, and it's still a door. Larger and fancier and more impressive than he'd thought at first fuzzy glance. He is uncertain what to make of it. Its incongruousness demands his attention. The door is situated far back from the alley, in a shadowed section hidden from the sun, but the colors are still rich, some of the pigments metallic, more delicate than most of the graffiti the boy has ever seen. Painted in the style he knows has a fancy French name, something about fooling the eye, though I cannot recall the term here and now. The door is painted with sharp-cut geometric patterns that wind around its edges, creating depth where there is only flatness. In the center, at the level where a peephole might be, and stylized with lines that match the rest of the painting carved, is a bee. Beneath the bee is a key. Beneath the key is a sword. A golden, seemingly three-dimensional doorknob shimmering despite the lack of light. A keyhole is painted beneath, so dark it looks to be a void waiting a key rather than a few strokes of black paint. The door is strange and pretty and something the boy does not have words for, and does not know if there are words for, even fancy French expressions. Somewhere in the street an unseen dog barks, but it sounds distant and abstract. The sun moves behind a cloud, and the alley feels longer and deeper and darker. The door itself brighter. Tentatively, the boy reaches out to touch the door. The part of him that still believes in magic expects it to be warm despite the chill in the air, expects the image to have fundamentally changed the brick, makes his heart beat faster, even as his hand slows down, because the part of him that thinks the other part is being childish prepares for disappointment. His fingertips meet the door below the sword, and they come to rest on smooth paint, covering cool brick. A slight unevenness to the surface betraying the texture below. It is just a wall. Just a wall with a pretty picture on it. But still, there is the sensation tugging at him that this is more than what it appears to be. He presses his palm against the painted brick. The false wood of the door is a brown barely a shade or two off from his own skin tone, as though it has been mixed to match him. Behind the door is somewhere else. Not the room behind the wall, something more. He knows this. He feels it in his toes. This is what his mother would call a moment with meaning, a moment that changes the moments that follow. The son of the fortune teller knows only that the door feels important in a way he cannot quite explain, not even to himself. A boy at the beginning of a story has no way of knowing that the story has begun. He traces the painted lines of the key with his fingertips, marveling at how much the key, like the sword and the bee and the doorknob, look as though it should be three-dimensional. The boy wonders who painted it and what it means, if it means anything. If not the door, at least the symbols. If it is a sign and not a door, or if it is both at once. In this significant moment, if the boy turns the painted knob and opens the impossible door, everything will change. But he does not. Instead, he puts his hands in his pockets. Part of him decides he is being childish and that he is too old to expect real life to be like books. Another part of him decides that if he does not try, he cannot be disappointed, and he can go on believing that the door could open, even if it is just pretend. He stands with his hands in his pockets and considers the door for a moment more before walking away. The following day, his curiosity gets the better of him, and he returns to find the door has been painted over. The brick wall whitewashed to the point he cannot even discern where precisely the door had been. And so, the son of a fortune teller does not find his way to the Starless Sea. Not yet.